Hi, my name is Lisa and welcome to my very first video on this channel. Not technically my very first video. I started this channel a few years ago for my art business and decided to flip it around when I wasn't using it at all for this crochet account. My apologies if I'm not looking at the camera. I'm trying to figure out where it is. I'm just using my phone. I think you're right there. We'll give that a shot. But this is a quick intro video and a little bit of a what I made this week type thing. Only this is the last 2 weeks, I believe. So yeah, a quick introduction. I am one half of Loops and Scoops Crochet. My sister and I started the business last year. She's been crocheting for a very long time, but she doesn't have time for YouTube, so it's just going to be me here mostly. She might drop in occasionally when we're setting up at events and things like that. You will also see my husband from time to time, and I'm looking at the wrong spot. It's on this side. I can tell. Apologies for that. But yes, you might see my husband as well. We're doing a lot of shows. We actually have 3 upcoming. That's why I thought it would be good to get this video out now so that you see what I made in preparation for these 3 conventions back to back. It's actually 2 Comic-Cons and one more markety type event where we'll just have crochet. My husband and I also run a business where we sell comic books. We write, produce, and publish a bunch of books. And that's kind of what started this whole thing. We thought, well, not really, but it started the whole combining things to do comic conventions. We thought the comics and the crochet could be sold pretty well together, and so far that is not proving to be the the case, but we're trying. The crochet does a lot better than the comics so far. My husband and I did a lot of comic shows back before COVID, and things have changed a little bit, and the books aren't moving quite like they were before, but we're still hoping that that changes and we can do both. But yeah. If I didn't say it, I'm pretty sure I did. My name is Lisa. My husband is Brant, and you'll see him occasionally. Like I said, and my sister is Sylvia, but she will be showing up only at conventions and stuff. Anyway, it's hot in here, if you can't tell. I usually have fans going and everything, but I had to turn them off so that you can hear me because I'm just using my phone for these videos because it seems to be the easiest thing to do for now. But anyway, I figured I would show you what I made. First I'll start out with a little history of my crochet. I started last August, and I learned mainly from Club Crochet here on YouTube, but I also a few other places when I had trouble figuring out a stitch or something like that. I would just search for the stitch and figure out which way to do it. But yeah, mainly Club Crochet. I really liked his tutorial, like step by step. And now I've gotten to a place where I'm actually very happy with the things that I'm putting out. It took about 2 months before I finished anything that I really liked at all. But yeah, and then we did our first show November of last year, I believe. Just a small local show. We're in Texas. So it was just a town over from us. And we did pretty well there. And we are really enjoying our time doing this. There are 2 of us, like I said. So in these videos, it will only be the stuff that I make. Because for one, I'm the newest. And so I think that what my productivity is more realistic. So I'm not gonna, in the market recaps, I'm not going to recap everything we sold because it's her making stuff too, and she's way faster than I am, so I just feel like it should just be my stuff. So that's what we're gonna do here. So yeah, we'll start with what I made. My favorite types of yarn to use our Bernat blanket when it's soft and nice and beautifully luscious. When it's not, it's like the worst yarn. But we're figuring out which ones I like and which ones I don't. But I use Bernat almost, not exclusively. I use 3 types of yarn mainly. I use Bernat. I use Sweet Snuggles Light from Michaels, and I use Big Twist Plush from Joanne. I'm not a fan of Posh. I don't like the stitch definition. Like, it's super, you can see the stitches so well, and I don't like that as well for some reason. And then my sister uses a lot of the smaller, a little bit smaller weight. She uses the Parfait and the Himalaya Dolphin. We've used, she's trying Toucan now. She does, because she's faster, she does some of the more medium-sized plushies that are, that she can whip up quicker, and I'm still doing smaller things. But anyway, now what I made in the probably last 2 weeks, since our last show, which was the end of June. So since like July 1st or so, this is what I've managed to come up with. I decided to do a different strategy this time. I'm sort of market prepping in blocks. We've sort of got a list of the things that are fairly good sellers for us, so these are on that list. I started there. First up, turtles. I went on a turtle spree. We've got 2 sizes of turtles that I am responsible for, and those are the tiny little babies. And if you want any of these patterns, just ask me in the comments, or I'll try and post the links, but I'm not guaranteeing that I'll remember to do that. So these are 3 of them, but I actually made 20 of these guys, and these are, I know the name of it, I don't know who created the pattern. I don't know. His name is Scout. And so it's Scout the sea turtle, and I think it's Callie Crochets or something like that. So you should be able to find this one. We got him on Etsy. And I really like the size in Bernat. He's a nice little mini turtle. The only thing I do different is I add a little tail. So yeah, like I said, I made 20 of these guys in varying different colors, but I didn't think you needed to see all of them. But in the future, if you like me to go through every single thing I made, I can. Just tell me. It seems like, I don't know, it seems like you might get bored. And then the other turtle is my sister's pattern, so I don't have a link for that or anything. And again, varying colors. He's a bit bigger, sea turtle. Also give him a little tail. And here's a few. I grabbed 3. Started doing this cream color for some of the turtles, and I quite like it. So I made 15 of these guys. So 15 medium turtles. She does some larger ones, like fruit turtles and some big sea turtles that don't take her super long. Okay, next I'm going from, I guess, big to smallest. My smallest will be at the end. I made a bunch of baby mushroom dudes, and this is, they're still a little fuzzy because I just finished them last night. Apologies if this light is too bright. I might tone it down in the next one. I see how it's washing out the white a bit. So I've got actually 30 of these dudes. I'll show you a few different colors. These are actually in Big Twist Plush. So we tried out some of the new colors that came out for that, which is, this is one of them. I think it's Crayon Box or something like that. And so we got some of these where I don't do any of the, what is that called? Spots. I don't do any of the spots on these guys, but I do go ahead and on all the colors and give them sort of traditional mushroom spots. So like I said, I got 30 of these guys. That was a long time yesterday, finishing those, stuffing all of them and sewing them up. Oh, you understand. And this pink is one of my favorite of the new colors. I just give them a little bit of blush. I don't do mouths on the mushrooms. 2 things left. I made a bunch of nuggets, chicken nuggets. These do pretty well for us. This is a free Instagram pattern, and I tried giving them different types of faces. Sometimes the angry faces sell. The other, I did like a kind of meh face, and it doesn't really sell that well, so I think I might just do the happy face all the time. But I do them on either side, just whatever feels right when I'm embroidering the face. And I went ahead and, I don't think I had been doing the blush on these guys, but I started to do that again, so. And I made, I believe, 15 of these, but I plan to make, no, I made 20, and we still had, yeah, we've got like 30 in inventory now, so I'm gonna quit on the nuggets for now. I'm thinking of pickles, they're next. And finally, we got soot sprites, and I do these out of Parfait, the Glitz. I think that's all it's called. Premier, I think it's Parfait Glitz, but it's by Premier. And we buy a ton of this black so that I can do soot sprites. We were gonna do a bunch of things with the black. Really fuzzy. But we ended up just doing the little sprite guys. So there they are. It's a basic free pattern on Instagram as well. I just changed up how I do the eyes and the little beads on top. You can sort of invent your own way of finishing that you like. But that's what I landed on. I think they're pretty cute. And I got 16 of these guys. Because we're doing a bunch of cons, they tend to do okay. They actually do okay at markets as well. When people recognize them, they're really actually pretty stoked about it. And that is all. So 16 of these guys, 15 medium turtles, 20 little scout turtles, and 30 baby mushrooms, and 15 nuggets. I think it was 15 to get the inventory up to around 30. So yeah, that is it for 2 weeks. I also started possums. Like, I've got a bunch of possum noses, and that's one of the things that's next. So there's a few things that are started, but I haven't finished. A lot of these are like batch. I create one part of them first, and then I go back and finish. So like with these guys, I start with the shells. These guys too. I start with the shells. I make all the shells, and then I go in and finish the bodies so that I can put up all the shell colors and not have to drag them all out all the time. The mushrooms are that way as well. I'm going to try ice cream cones. I think that's going to be a new thing that we're going to pull out. There's a free Instagram pattern that I want to try. I forget who it's by, but I've got it saved. And that's going to be done in the same way, where I do the ice cream bit first, I think, and then go back and do the shell cone. Not shell, cone. Because our name is Loops and Scoops. It has to do with ice cream. My sister has a 4-year-old daughter who's obsessed with ice cream, and like most kids are. And it seemed like a fun name to sort of go along with that. And the reason that we ever figured out that you could even make stuffed animals out of crochet was because she was looking on Pinterest for something to make Gracie, and the first thing it showed her was, actually she might have been looking for a recipe and it showed her this, if I'm remembering correctly. It showed her like little ice cream scoops, like a full set of ice cream, like with a bowl and stuff like that, and she had no idea you could make this stuff. She's been crocheting since she was a kid, but just blankets and doll clothes and things like that. And I never had an interest in crochet because I didn't want to make those things. I saw her making them, it was like, oh, meh. But now that I can make cute little stuffed animals, I'm like super happy and I'm like obsessed. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Loops and Scoops. So we've sort of got an ice cream theme with our branding and everything, which you can see if I put any of that up on the channel, which I probably did. Yeah, so if you're if you're interested in seeing what I make, we'll do little recap videos of the markets that we do. Go ahead and follow along. I'll warn you right now, I don't edit. I'm not going to edit. You're going to have to hear my ums and whatevers all the time because I just don't want to. It comes down to that. I don't want to spend the time editing. And I prefer this kind of video myself when I'm watching, not a bunch of cuts and things like that. So it was like, hey, if I like to watch that kind of thing, maybe some other people do as well. So that's what this is going to be. I think I'll check in once a week showing what I made, more on the weeks that we have markets. Oh, and I'll go ahead and tell you how much inventory that is for us. That's about $1,000 in inventory for all the things that I have made. I don't even want to think about how much she's made because she's so dang fast. No, actually, it's summer for her. She's a teacher, so she's got more time. So she's sort of stockpiling and spending time with her daughter, but she's stockpiling and she's better at it than I am so far. But I'm actually pretty happy with 1,000 because we got these 3 shows coming up, and these are all things that we sell quite a bit of. So I'm feeling good that I'm contributing this time. Sometimes we would come back from a show and I would sell very little of the things that we actually made because I was not quick yet. But I'm getting there. I'm getting faster. But anyway, yeah, I think that's it. Subscribe if you would like to follow along. The first market will be on the 20th, so I'll check in next week showing you what I made in preparation for that, and then we'll have 3 weeks back to back of shows, and we're hoping to do 2 to 3 a month, maybe more, so there will be a lot of that. So if you're interested in to see how it goes, go ahead and follow along. So yeah, I will see y'all next time.